Hey guys, what's up? I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. This is the second video in the playlist of database with PySpark SQL. And in this video, we'll try to understand what exactly data warehouse, data lake, and data lake house is. So let's start with the data warehouse. So guys, this is the architecture of data warehouse, where we have data warehouse, where we have sources, and where we have ETL purpose also, and where we have after data warehouse, where the data will be go flow. So that all the things we have right now. So what exactly data warehouse is? Let's suppose we have three sources. Okay, let's suppose we have three sources: S1, S2, S3, and all the data is coming from these kind of sources. Whatever data is coming, there will be a extract, transform, and load process. That means all the schema has been already given, and whatever the data we have to just to process the data, and we have to make the data as structured. That's why, because data warehouse accepts only the structured data and the process data. Process data means the aggregate data, right? So data warehouse accept data where the schema has been applied and where the data has been structured. That means this data warehouse will accept only that data, and so that this visualization, reporting, and business intelligence team can utilize the data, and the data integrity will be so when the data already is in a structured way. That means the data already is in a structured way. So it means that it can assure the data quality as well. It can assure the data, yeah, it can assure the data quality as well, and data integrity as well, because the data is in structured way. Data, so the data is in a structured way. So that's why it can assure the business that the data quality and data integrity because of its structured way behavior. So whatever the data inside in the data warehouse, client directly can use that data to make some requirement, to make some reporting things, and use some Power BI tools to report the things and to use that for the visualize things, right? So that's for the data warehouse things. So basically, this is the architecture of data warehouse. I already explained you about the point that we have three kind of, we have three sources. So first the sources, all the data will be go for the ETL purpose, where the data will be transformed and where the schema will be given. After that, the data warehouse concept comes in. Data warehouse only consumes data that is structured and that is the schema already defined. So that's why we can that can maintain the data quality and data integrity of the data, because so whatever the data is inside the data warehouse, that data directly the client is going to use for the making some decision on the business, and it can make a reports and BI tools and visualization, right? So this is for the data warehouse perspective. Next, so I told you about data warehouse. So our next part is data lake. So basically, data lake is a centralized, highly flexible storage repository that stores large amount of structured data and unstructured in its raw form. So as a contrast to data warehouse, which store already clean and relational data, a data lake stores data using a flat architecture. That means the data is in raw format. So data lakes are flexible, durable, and cost effective and enable organizations to gain advanced insights from the data. Right. So as compared with the data warehouse, data lake, the schema or data is not defined when data is captured. Right. As we can see here in the diagram, the data lake is in raw state. Right. So these are the sources from where we are fetching data. And then the next layer is about data lake. That means no schema we have given while fetching data from the sources. That means all the data inside data lake is in raw state. That means we have structured, we have unstructured, and we have semi-structured data in this data lake, right? That means it can save the cost of structured and unstructured data because we all the data is inside this data lake. After that, once we load data into the data lake, then in the next layer, we are going to transform the data according to the need of the business. Like whether we want to store data into a data warehouse or whether we want to flow data from or transform ETL to from data mart or anything. That means, so basically, I told you about data lake and I told you about data warehouse also, right? So basically in this, and the last part is about data lake house, right? So let me just so basically this data lake house is nothing, just let's suppose data lake. So on top of this layer, right? On top of this layer, on top of this layer, if we just add one metadata and governance layer for to make your data to make your data in optim to store let me to store your data in a optimized way, right? So to make the data in optimized way, yeah. So data lake house, if you ask, so data lake house is nothing, just one layer on top of this data lake house that can handle governance and all the data which you are storing in data lake now that can be optimized further. That's why we have added one more external layer on the top of this data lake. That is a master data layer and governance layer, right? So whatever the data is stored in this data lake house, it is stored in a form of optimized way. And why it is the optimized way? Because we are storing this data, we are storing we're storing this data in a form of Parquet file. And data is stored in form of Parquet format, right? Because Parquet format is the optimized format file, right? Because it can, right? So it is stored in a form of columnar storage, right? So that is why the Parquet file format is a very optimized and compact file. And what the other point is, like it follows, like it follows asset properties. I hope you guys are know about asset property already. Like A refers A refers for atomicity, C refers for consistency, I refers for isolation, and D refers for durability. So when you apply these two external conditions on the top of the data lake, so it will become the data lake house. So this is the external feature which data lake house provides to you. That's why we right now in the current market we definitely use data lake house in comparison with the data warehouse and in data lake house I told you about data warehouse, data lake, and data lake house. Now we can discuss about some differences between these three. Let me tell you some differences as well. Right? So, data warehouse, data, and data lake house. So it works well. It works well with structured data because as I already told you about why it works well with structured data, right? Structured data, and in comparison of this, it works with structured and unstructured, right? Structured and unstructured data, right? But this data lake house works with structured, unstructured, and semi-structured as well, right? Then the next point, which is about this, is that it is optimal. If you ask me about, it is optimal for reporting purpose, right? Reporting purposes, it is optimal for machine learning workloads and predictive predictive loads. Okay, right? And this will fit for both, right? So we have these two differences. It works for the structured data, it for structured and unstructured data, and in comparison with these two, data lake house the work with structured, unstructured, and semi, right? And the second point is about optimal for reporting purpose, optimal for machine learning workflow, and fit for both predictive and right. But as I already mentioned you that the data is structured in data warehouse, that means the cost of maintenance is very high, right? Because we have to maintain that structured data, right? And in that thing, this is the cost efficient. This is the cost effective, so cost effective and flexible, right? And in data lakehouse also, it is the advanced version of data warehouse and data lake. So that's why it's also a cost effective. It's also a cost effective and flexible, right? And it follows asset properties and store data in Parquet format. Parquet format that is optimized, right? Yeah. So this is the difference between this data warehouse, data lake, and data lake house. So let's a quick recap. So I already mentioned you about data warehouse, data lake house. So if you guys feel any doubt in this explanation, just write a comment. I will try to explain all the things there also. Yeah. So if you guys like this video, subscribe the channel, like and share with all of your colleagues, right? Okay, guys. Thank you.